All right. So I had the real pleasure of spending about 15 minutes talking to Dana earlier. And, what I got, the single word that I got from that conversation is the word explorer. Because you can look at her bio that's in your program, but every single part of her journey has been absolutely amazing, starting with her first choice. She was living in LA County and had a choice between staying in LA County and going to UCLA or going to Irvine. And she immediately made the choice to leave LA County and go to Irvine. So that was her first choice, to explore outside of her comfort zone and her boundary. But then she made a much larger leap from Irvine. She actually decided to head out of the country and went to Paris. A much larger leap, by the way, than going to Irvine. And she actually studied at the, and I know I'm going to get this wrong, but the Société Politicale, you got to get it right for me. Institut Politique. Anyway, she went to France, and she had a chance. She had a chance there to actually observe the French elections going on in progress, and had an amazing realization that the French political process is completely different than our political process. And there were many more amazing realizations she had. That's the only one that I could come up with, because I could actually understand that part of the conversation, because she actually is also much smarter than I am. She then came back and had an opportunity to work for Xavier Becerra. So she got a chance to work for a congressman, but she didn't just decide to work for Xavier Becerra. Xavier at the time, like many other elected officials, was explaining to the rest of the country this new health care law that was coming down. Obamacare, the whole controversy that was going on around it, and she attended many, many town halls trying to explain this complicated law to all the folks in his district. But at the same time that she was doing that, she also decided to work for the Asian Pacific Law Center and get a degree or a certification in conflict resolution. Because what is more important when talking about healthcare than conflict resolution? She then had to decide, because she's at the Asian Pacific Law Center, is it law or politics? And I think this is going to be a continuous theme with her. What should I do? Am I going to go into law? Am I going to go into politics? But then she got a chance to actually explore a new avenue. She got a Goldman Sachs award to go and work in the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. Another huge leap. She got to go to D.C., experience the D.C. summer, the mosquitoes, all the horror of that. But then she set up for the entire Smithsonian Institute a conference, which she unfortunately didn't get to attend because she was only an intern, but a conference that brought together museums from all around the world together to talk about how they could work together resolving some of the problems that are most thorny in terms of thinking about food policy and other policies that they were working on. She then, from there, made her way back to LA, and again, this is another amazing part of her journey. Started working for the Immigration Law Center and working with young women who had been subject to domestic abuse, immigrants who were worried about whether or not they could talk about these issues. She was an intake person. Again, an amazing part of the journey. And then from there, and the job that she's doing right now is as a legal assistant, actually working on real estate and bankruptcy law. And she explained to me this part of her journey as she had to figure out the practicalities of working in the legal system and the law system. So this is a young woman who has had an amazing journey, has done an amazing number of different things. But I can tell you after talking to her that I don't know what journey she's going to take, but if she's on the ballot on Tuesday, or if she was on the ballot, I would vote for her in a heartbeat. So please, come on up.
Hello, everyone. Oh, I'm much shorter than this, but okay. So, it was 6 years ago when I was Mr. King's student, and I think both of us would have never envisioned I would be here today. 6 years ago, my personality and drive was hindered by a shyness that tried to conceal a lack of confidence, fueled by a disadvantaged community. Already facing emotional, cultural, and economic barriers, my shyness was paralyzing as it prevented me from reaching my full potential, a potential I didn't believe existed. I could have let negative factors dictate my capabilities. But looking at what I've accomplished academically and professionally, what was surprising is the way I was able to remove the veil of self-fear and self-doubt and empower myself. I gained the realization that regardless of everything that may be pulling me towards a stereotypical life of most people originating from, let's say, low-income communities, I had the power to decide my own path, and I could break that mold. What was most surprising as someone who struggled to find her voice is the way that I've been able to empower others. I was able to discover my own potential, a potential only defined by me. The honor of having Mr. King as a teacher inspired me to live up to this potential and to do something great with my life. He was a role model who, in his early 20s, was able to help a group of 43 students challenge expectations and perform at a level that exceeded the expectations coming from that school. Become the masters of your own knowledge, Mr. King would always tell us. Mr. King would remind us that we needed to take ownership and pride of our own learning. Mr. King was an effective teacher because of his ability to tap in the undiscovered potential of students in a school where its economic barriers limited the promise of what they were capable of. Mr. King's genuine passion for education took an approach of exposing us to everything and limiting nothing when it came to teaching us about American history and about the world. History became an interwoven story that documented the human experience. He made history come alive not just through his techniques, but by the relevancy as he connected it to our lives. His perception is that we deserve the best type of education. And as we struggled with low expectations of ourselves, he made it his goal to deliver the best possible education. His commitment to his students is unmatched, and his sacrifice created a course that taught the importance of giving back, the necessity to question everything, and the courage to challenge yourself, all within the constructs of a U.S. history curriculum. So to the self-proclaimed master of all things he knows, and the man who takes pride in knowing all the American presidents, thank you so much for everything you've done for me.
I didn't know I was going to make that sound. I don't think any of us knew we were going to speak today. I think we were just assumed that we were going to say hello and thank you and thanks. It's always nice to hear your students say these things about you, because I think, like most of us, we're doing it just because we love the job and we genuinely feel like the kids deserve everything of us. And so I never saw this as a job or a profession. I saw this as something that I was supposed to do. And these kids deserved everything. And to Dana and to all the other kids that nominated, I'm so, so proud of what you've done. I'm glad to say that I've met you and I got to teach you. And I'm so glad that, now we can be friends. And I always told the kids that after they graduated, when they graduated from college, we would have a coffee together. And so we'll have that tonight. But thank you.